Welcome to How To RC. I'm going to give you some helpful hints on cutting foam. Use a sharp knife. I'll show you why in a second. You can make a nice straight cut. It's that easy. You can make a nice bevel cut. See that? See that bevel on there? This is 6mm Deferon foam. You can make nice curvy cuts. This is pink foam. You can put the blade all the way in there. Slices right along like a hot knife through butter. If your knife's not sharp, it'll tell you it's not sharp. It tears. See if I can zoom in and show you that tear. See what it does? It tears. And that's telling you that your knife's not sharp enough. Another couple of hints are, if you're cutting a straight line, use a steel ruler so that the knife doesn't, if you use a plastic ruler or a wooden ruler, the knife can cut it and catch. Use a steel ruler, it'll just ride along the edge. If you need to cut a bevel, you simply angle the knife and cut your bevel. When you're cutting foam, you always want to put your ruler on the piece that you want, so that if while you're cutting this piece, for some reason you turn the blade just a little bit, it becomes like a rudder and it goes off track, and if this is the piece you wanted, you just ruined it and ruined the foam. But if you have the ruler on the piece that you're trying to cut out, the piece you want, no big deal. Just go back, start the knife again, push it up against the ruler, and finish the cut. You haven't lost anything. You can cut foam with a saw. Any kind of a saw. Any kind of woodworking saw. You could probably use a hacksaw. This is a little, X-Acto hobby saw. Boy, and it goes through that foam really nice. This one happens to be a pull saw. I always wondered why they made these as a push saw, because they're so flimsy, they're so very thin. But somebody got smart and they made this a pull saw. The Japanese have always, I think, done that. And so it cuts on the pull stroke. Although it seems to cut on the push stroke, I can feel it tearing the foam. The table saw, any kind of a saw, and any kind of a sharp knife, as long as it's sharp. I heard somebody complaining the other day that you can't sand it. Oh, this person couldn't sand it. Sanding foam. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he's talking about, basically. This is 150 grit sandpaper. When it smooths that stuff down in a hurry. Take 220 grit sandpaper it smooths it down even further. Now you got a real nice smooth surface that you can paint. It's also more prepared for tape. The tape sticks better because there's a whole lot more surface there. The foam surface is kind of pebbly in a very, very small way. And so when you sand it down, you get a bigger surface. I don't know how to say it. Now, I suppose maybe if you press too hard, you could have trouble sanding foam. Notice I'm pushing away because if you can't really work towards yourself like that. You can basically only go away. The fastest way to sand is actually not too much pressure. Let the sandpaper do the work. This stuff sands say I'm making a leading edge for a foam plane for a wing. There it is, nice rounded edge, just a couple of seconds worth of sanding. Or if I want to do a trailing edge, I want to make a trailing edge for a wing, and you want to taper it, same thing. Oops, that was already broken. It's a good idea to do it on the edge of the table, but you can taper it right down in just a few seconds with 150 grit sandpaper and a sanding block available at hardware stores and home supply stores. You'll notice that I'm cutting on this green thing. This is a self-healing mat. It's a terrific idea. It's also a terrific product because with the same amount of pressure, I'll slice right through that 6mm Depron. Two things happen. I didn't hurt my countertop, and I didn't dull my blade. If you're working on a piece of furniture, I mean, you can destroy it in a hurry just doing that. And if you try to put a piece of cardboard down, you can go right through the cardboard pretty easy. The self-healing mat, I don't know how they make it, but you can cut it and doesn't leave a mark. I saw one of these yesterday that was 18 by 24 inches and it was $30. I think I paid around $10 for this one, which looks to be a foot by 18 inches.